Hi, Dick Rauscher here. Welcome back to the Stony Hill blog. Today we're going to be talking about the amazing power of choice. This is probably one of the more basic and important models that I used with both psychotherapy clients and today with life coaching clients. It's a very simple model again, but again, there's an awful lot of wisdom and simplicity, okay? If we want to be successful in life, if we want to have a happy life, if we want to have healthy relationships with other people, and if we want to have meaning, deep meaning in our lives, then we have to be able to embrace choice. Why do we not make choices? Probably one of the biggest reasons that I hear today, and I hear it a lot, is, oh, the problems are too big. They're too complicated. Why bother? I can't make any difference anyways, just little old me, okay? So why get all cranked up about it? The problem with that kind of thinking is that what we're really saying is that we're shutting down choice. We're just going with whatever, okay? We're kind of drifting through life. So one of the things that we want to challenge is that problems are not too big in terms of what can we do to change the issues or the challenge or the problems that face us. Maybe we can't change the world, but we can change ourselves and we can change our lives. And that's the key, and that's the power in this model. So the choice is basic. Only choice, only when we exercise choice do we have the power to change our lives. I mean, how simple is that, right? If we don't make choices and embrace change, then we can't change our lives. We're just going to live the same old, okay? So this is a concept that so many people fail to really embrace. Oh, we know it. I mean, I haven't ever told this model or showed this model to anybody that doesn't say, well, yeah, I get that right away. But what we don't do typically is we don't embrace that and bring it into everyday life. And that's part of the problem. Okay, so let's look at the model. This is the model that I love to teach because it is so simple. Trust me, it'll change your life, okay? And it's so basic that people can remember it, okay? We have, well, let's start here. Our childhood self-story. Most of us have a story that we created for ourselves about childhood, about why we are who we are. Maybe it was our parents, maybe it was we were poor, maybe nobody liked me, nobody listened to me, I was invisible, I grew up in an abusive family. Everybody has a story from childhood. And unfortunately, most of our stories are sad. They're excuses as to why we are living the life that we're living, okay? And why we are who we are. Now, the moment we recognize that we have a story from the past that is controlling our lives, again, we come back and we have choices now. And the choice is, in the moment, we can make a choice. So if we're living a life that we really don't want, and this story is kind of our excuse, our sad story as to why we're living the life we are, even though we don't like it, this is available to every single one of us, okay? And this is the key. This is the simple key to this model. Every single moment in our lives, every single situation in our lives, every single experience in our lives, we have the option of making a choice and doing something new and different. Now, as I point out in the article, that if we don't make a choice, in other words, if we ignore the possibility of making a choice in every moment, we're going to get the same old, okay? Same old, and that's this life. It's a life, this is the future, and what we've done is we've created it unconsciously. And we continue to do that based on our story. It's just the same old story. Day after day, nothing changes. Why? Because we're not making any choices in this moment. Now, the moment we begin to recognize the simple reality that if we want to live a future that's awakened, okay, a new future, in other words, begin to follow our dreams and begin to create the life that we've always wanted to live, then what we got to do is we have to wake up to the fact that we have to begin now in every moment exercising choice. I told you it was going to be simple, okay? Now, here's the problem, and this is one of the reasons why most of us kind of struggle with this simple concept. We'd rather blame someone else, something else, some experience, some person, again, basically the sad story, for the life that we're living. We don't want to take responsibility, and yet we created this same old life. And we did it because we didn't make choices, okay? So one of the ways to make this model really functional, to make it powerful, is that we have to take full responsibility for both, what I call both F's. We have to take responsibility for the life that we're currently living, the unconscious one, and we have to take responsibility for the life that we want to live, okay? We can't blame this same old that we're living on someone else. We created it. So if we can accept that full responsibility that we're living the life we created. Now, here's the good news on this again, okay? And I try to point this out a lot of times in these articles, and that is that if we created this same old life, that's powerful. Think about it. If we created this life that we don't like, that we don't want to live any longer, and I don't mean suicidal not living, but just we're tired of it, we're bored with it, we're sad with it, we're depressed about it, we're unhappy about it, okay? All the reasons why we get up in the morning and go, oh boy, another day, okay? We created that life. That's all. But that's powerful, because if we can recognize that, we can create any life we want. How? Every single moment we start exercising the ability to make new choices, okay? If we don't, obviously we get the same old. Okay, now, here's probably the most important choice we can make. And that is, we have a choice of believing that we're an isolated self. And we can go through life looking at what's in it for me. Okay? I'm an isolated self. Everybody else is isolated. I'm not part of anything, so everything has got to be about me. And our ego loves to do that, especially our primitive ego. What's in it for me? And if we go through life with that attitude, almost certainly you're going to end up with an unconscious future that you really don't want to live. So, the choice, think about being a we. If every choice we made was focused on this, okay, what's in it for us collectively as a culture, as a community, as a family, as a society? What's in it for us? Because we are a part of it. you will end up creating a new future in an awakened way. In other words, you'll be self-aware and aware of the choices that you're making. And if you're creating this kind of a life, I guarantee you, you'll find success, happiness, healthy relationships, and meaning. And it's that simple. Test it out. Check it. Start making new choices. Recognize that there is a sad story. See if you can get your head around what that sad story is. Okay? So the power in these models and the articles that I write is not everything is going to apply to every single listener out there. So just look at this and see what jumps out at you. What kind of resonated with you that you need to think a little bit more deeply about? If you can take something away from this model and use it to create a new future that's awakened, that's your power.